dzisiaj będziemy robić?
Chyba próbować od tych alkoholi ichniejszych. Już się boję.
Ale nie wiem, czy chcę to pić.
I drink one more.
O kurde, Patrycja nas
Jeszcze jeden. Zdrówko. Wszystkich ludzi to obecnych. Jesteśmy właśnie pod centrum handlowym. Umówiliśmy się tutaj z Dominikiem, czyli z takim Irlandczykiem, który mieszka tutaj w Ugandzie i w innych krajach Afryki Wschodniej już od 5 lat. I zabiera nas on dzisiaj na slumsy, w których żyją reprezentanci plemienia Karamajong. To są tacy ludzie, którzy są bardzo marginalizowani tutaj w Ugandzie i mają bardzo ciężkie życie, ale na ten temat więcej się dowiecie w dalszej części filmu. Oskar sobie kupuje teraz właśnie kartę SIM, ponieważ okazało się, że jest to dość kłopotliwe, jak tylko ja mam kartę SIM, on nie ma, bo jak chcemy korzystać z SafeBoda, a jednak one są tutaj najlepszym rozwiązaniem, no to musimy mieć 2 numery i też w razie jakbyśmy się zgubili czy coś, no to dobrze jest mieć jak się ze sobą porozumieć. Także dla własnego komfortu to robimy. Dzisiaj będziemy używać przede wszystkim kamerki GoPro, szczególnie w tych slumsach. Tak nam Dominik polecił, że no przede wszystkim wyciąganie tam aparatu jest niebezpieczne, bo ktoś może mieć na niego chętkę, a po drugie raczej powinniśmy tam filmować z ukrycia. Odwiedzimy też parafię, która bierze udział w różnych projektach, które mają na celu ulepszenie życia części z tych ludzi z Karamajong, szczególnie dzieci. Oni też zorganizowali tam dla nich szkołę, ale to zobaczycie w dalszej części filmu. Hello, so we just met with Dominic.
Hello.
Dominic will take us today to the places which I told you about, so mainly to the slums. And also Dominic took us one. It's what is it?
Bushera.
And can you tell what is this?
It's just a fermented millet cereal drink that they drink here. Some people make it by hand, and some you can buy the commercial version like this.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like this, and I'm gonna taste it right now.
It's homemade. Yeah, made by. This one's made from banana.
Okay.
Nie są to moje smaki.
It's pretty.
Actually, it's
like acidic.
Yes, it's acidic and kind of.
Yeah.
But it's actually full of protein. It's very
Protein, yeah?
Yeah, it's full of protein.
Okay.
And it's actually it's very good for the stomach.
Okay. This is the mall which was founded and it was built by the minister, somebody from the ministry, yeah?
Probably someone from linked to the government.
Yeah. And it's like the Ugandan people, they can't afford to buy anything from this mall, so it's probably built for some Western people and maybe super rich Ugandan, yeah?
Exactly.
And as you said, some poor Ugandan people, they come here.
Yeah, just to take photographs inside of themselves inside. So a lot of Ugandans will come here, can't afford to buy anything. They'll just come here and take some photos. Maybe they'll buy a soda maximum, and then they'll just go on the escalator. It's like a fun day out, but they can't actually afford to eat any of the meals in the restaurant, because some of these restaurants here, some of the meals cost as much as 50% of some people's salary here, which is crazy. The people in Kampala that you see doing the small jobs, most of them are earning about 100,000 shillings a month.
Which is how many dollars?
Which is about, it's in euros, it's probably about 20 to 22 euros a month. It's not a lot of money.
It's really low salary.
And they tend to be really crappy jobs. You'll even see some people here today, they can even be earning less than 100,000. And then you get the other side of Kampala where some people are earning millions of shillings. And a meal in here can cost you 45,000 for one meal, 35,000 for a meal, or even 50,000 for a meal. So when you think some people are earning 100,000, they can never ever afford to eat a meal in here, or KFC in fact, which is quite a few KFCs in Kampala.
And is it possible for everybody to step into this mall?
Not everybody. You will probably find like some of the community that we're visiting today, like the Karamajong kids and the young women, they would not be allowed past security here.
And why is this?
Because they'll probably say that you know, these people are just here to beg, they've got no business here, they can't afford anything in here. and the tribe itself is kind of frowned upon being here in Uganda or here in Kampala, sorry. And these are some of the girls here.
Yeah.
So these girls are Karamajong girls, yeah?
Plemię Karamajong zamieszkuje północno-wschodnie tereny Ugandy. Na początku XX wieku zmiany klimatyczne przyniosły na tę ziemię wielką suszę, która doprowadziła do totalnego zniszczenia ich upraw, a tysiące Karamajong umarło z głodu. Skrajna bieda i trudne warunki klimatyczne każdego roku zmuszają tych ludzi do migracji w obszary miejskie, gdzie muszą mierzyć się z wykorzystywaniem i dyskryminacją. Wielu z nich mieszka na ulicy, a ci, którzy mają więcej szczęścia, osiedlają się w slumsie.
Idziemy teraz do parafii, do kościoła, w której ksiądz pomaga tutejszym ludziom. Hello! Hello!
And these are the typical pit latrines
Okay.
that they're using. These are toilets.
Why they are locked? So
Yes,
every of
people
them.
look because then other people will use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for example, the latrine is for how many people here?
It'll be for maybe a couple of households. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes even bigger.
Yeah, it looks like this. These are their houses.
Yeah, you can see the drainage.
Yeah.
Drainage is fairly new.
Straszne to jest widok tego, jak żyją tutaj ludzie za tą siatką, a dosłownie 100 metrów dalej jest ogromne centrum handlowe i to jest centrum handlowe, na które nawet dobrze zarabiający Ugandyjczycy nie mogą sobie pozwolić. Mogą sobie pozwolić na zakupy tam tylko najbogatsi. Czyli to są z reguły ludzie, którzy są związani z rządem i tak naprawdę całe bogactwo w Ugandzie, wszyscy bogaci ludzie, ich fortuna opiera się wyłącznie na korupcji i na powiązaniach politycznych.
I'm almost at the church. I'll be there in like 1 minute.
What are you playing?
What are you playing?
What's the name, sorry? Tumanji. Okay. You know what this game is about?
It looks like Ludo.
Yes, Ludo.
It's Ludo.
Ludo.
Very old game.
Okay.
I remember as a child playing this one.
And they have the football clubs.
Yeah. This is the church.
Okay. Yeah. Tak wygląda kościół. No nie jest to podobny budynek do tego, który znamy z naszych realiów. I'm just gonna show the church because you know nobody would
This is
guess.
quite an interesting bit of artwork.
Yeah.
Fallen soldiers. Yeah.
Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And
And there's a Tupac as well.
Most of the girls here who are 12 and 13 have already started giving birth.
Okay.
And if you see the ears that I was telling you about, you see the ear? It's all pierced.
Yes.
That is what the Karamajong are known
Okay.
for. That is a decoration.
Piercing.
And you can see the skirts tartan.
Yes.
And they always wear this tartan pleated skirt. And you can see the condition of some of the houses
Yes.
here.
Dominic, if you could tell if anything particular happened to your life
Can I
that
make you a
you
photo?
choose this way to live
look
in that
beautiful.
poor way and
I would say that throughout my life, I was brought up poor, and then I joined the army at a very young age, at 16. Spent some time in the army, and then I left. And then I started traveling various countries. Some, you know, the less travelled countries in the world, North Korea, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, places like that. And every time I met cultures, I started realising, you know, not only the way that we live in the West, but there's other things to learn from other cultures. And then I came back to the UK, and then I was doing various work. And then one day I just woke up and said I want to go and help people of some of the countries I've been to, Kenya, Uganda. So I then sold everything I own, and I decided to come here. And after 2 years, I ran out of money. I went back, and now I see myself coming and going back in here and I'm helping various communities, and I'm a trustee for a charity, and that is what I do now. And I just go back, save money, come back and help people. And when I'm here, I stay in the slum like everyone else, eat and drink everything that they do. And this is one of the particular communities that I saw was struggling the most in Kampala, so that's why I decided to help them. And I help them as much as I can. I'm limited by funds, but we do raise funds and we do projects, and we give them some guidance, and we've got some more projects in the future that we're going to do with the Karamajong community here. And I feel a part of the community here.
Who said you need to preach? Who will judge them? The words I have spoken, the one get ready after this word.
So they don't speak English, they don't speak Uganda, and they speak their Karamajong. Actually, the language barrier is also the next one thing which would not allow them to get a job probably here.
And the other thing is because they don't go to school, there's no way of learning. Maybe they can learn some small words from people just by in the community, but most of these children don't go to school, so they don't have an education. So that also impacts on their job prospects.
Yes, of course.
2 Ukrainians came here. I've been here, and you're probably the next.
Okay.
You're like the 4th and the 5th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So actually it's like white people are not coming here?
Yeah,
I mean, even if some tourists want some extreme touristic experience.
They probably, you know, you need kind of permission to come in here. People don't just let you come in and wander.
Yes.
They might think, what are you up to?
Okay, but they know you, yeah?
Some of them do. Most people recognise me not just by face, because I've been here quite a lot of times.
Sure.
A lot of them know I'm linked with pasta.
Okay. Zaczyna najradosniejsza część mszy, czyli tańce, śpiewy. To właśnie odróżnia afrykańskie msze od naszych.
Hello. What are you doing here? Working? Yes? Yeah, okay.
This is pork.
This is pork, yeah. And you're gonna sell it, yeah?
Yeah.
On the street or in the market?
Market.
Market, okay.
You won't find people buying this in Kampala because they have fridges. This is for rural areas mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Momentalnie, gdy ktoś nagrywam, od razu tutaj wszystkie dzieciaki ustawiają się dookoła mnie, żeby tylko zobaczyć, jak GoPro nagrywa i jak to wygląda. No. Dominik mówił, że rzadko kiedy tutaj widzą taką technologię i my jesteśmy tutaj 4. albo 5. białym człowiekiem, który odwiedził to miejsce odkąd on tutaj jest.
How your slum community is treating you, and how was it at the beginning, and if it changed through the time?
Yeah, I think when I first got there, they were surprised, and they were asking questions like, "Why are you staying here? Why are you staying there? Why are you eating this? Where's your 4x4?" And they were surprised that I chose to live there, and I think they were surprised at how I was living. And then when they seen me eating the local food, they were surprised that I was eating the local food, and I was doing everything that they do now. They don't bat an eyelid, and I'm just like, I just blend into the community. I'm just. Some of them call me the white African when I'm in the slum where I am, and everyone just knows me, and no one makes a fuss now, which is nice. It shows that I've integrated into the slum and everyone welcomes me. So that is how it's changed. I'm now a part of the community, and people are just happy that I'm here, because I think it breaks down some barriers, because they always ask me why does other whites, Mzungus, not come here, and I said to them, I don't know, but they don't all think like me.
Tutaj coś w formie ryneczka w slumsie.
Then after putting food,
What are you drinking?
then the rat will come and pass here.
What she's
When
drinking?
the rat passes here,
Waraji.
coming out it becomes a...
This is the waraji that she buy in the shop or homemade?
Homemade stuff in this slum.
And it's like from some chemicals or?
No, this will be from matoke, banana.
Okay.
It's probably, I reckon, between maybe 25 and 40%.
Okay.
Depending on who's making it.
Yeah, so it's strong.
Yeah, it's strong enough. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna burn yourself. Oh my god. Dziecko niesie rozżarzone węgle na głowie. Ale chyba wie, co robi. Choć może to nie wygląda, jakby wiedziało, co robi. So this is for chicken, yeah?
Actually, the babies.
Yeah. So this is like a cage, yeah?
Yeah, this is the cage for the chicken. Just put like this. Put the food there, water.
Okay.
You go leave them there.
But a lot of dogs will eat the chickens.
Yeah.
So they want to protect.
Yeah, and you're gonna sell it on the market or in the street?
Yeah, send it to America.
Yeah, sell it to America, yeah.
The Uganda province versus Karamajong, it is like 50 years behind. Karamajong is like 50 years behind.
Good.
And then you wonder why people don't want to. You imagine your neighbour living in better conditions, and you're told to stay there. Of course, if you're allowed to, you'll come and live in the better area, where there is water, facilities. So that is why a lot of them move, for looking for work and for a better life, and you can't blame them. Because which human on earth doesn't want a better life?
And how this people ends up here? It's like they just come here from the rural areas of Uganda and just come here and trying to live, or the government sort these people?
No, they come here on a bus, and then immediately they get here, they'll start begging.
Okay.
They come here, get off the bus, and they start begging, sleeping on the streets. And then eventually, obviously, they've started building a community here. And trying to make a living.
Okay.
Yeah, so the begging is probably a good 85% of how they survive.
And the best way to earn some money.
And the other way is, like I say, they're doing some small business. That's probably another 10-15%. And we're trying to get some bead making projects so they can make some beads. So rather than begging at the side of the car, they can offer some product like a beaded bracelet, necklace, and then we'll get people here who are, once they're trained, can then train others. Then they can help themselves. You know, it's not about giving people things; it's about giving people the skills to then get themselves out of poverty.
Yeah.
Because just giving them an item every now and then doesn't help. Yeah. And they do struggle with toilets here. There's even like down here there is human feces, because people are not got access to a toilet. And like you say, then
so we do it everywhere.
Yeah. So not everyone's got access to a toilet, so that's why you see some human feces, and then they're still trying to grow it. And the problem with that is, in the conditions they're in, it creates things like dysentery, cholera, typhoid.
So all of these are like excrements, yeah, here, and they trying to grow something on this.
Well, yeah, you'll see this is growing, but even on the edge here, you can see there's human feces here, feces here,
all around,
human feces, human feces, human feces. So it's not the greatest of it, and then you've got children running around. You know. Yes. They are actually trying to make a living. Some people think these people just are lazy and they don't want to do nothing, but if you have a look here, they're making clay pots, they're drying out the millet, they're sorting out the beans, they're making charcoal stoves, they are trying to make a living. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, misbehave.
Fighting? Don't fight each other.
Behave.
Tutaj tej dziewczynce mama pomalowała głowę jakąś czarną farbą, nie wiem, żeby poprawić jej fryzurę. Hungry.
Yes,
So we are here still on the slum?
Yeah, we are still in Slum. Even though there's a bit of tarmac here, there is.
Alright.
You just go up here, you're right next to it.
Okay, czyli jednak to dalej jest slums. Tylko wygląda troszkę lepiej przez to, że jest tutaj droga
This was the Gina.
asfaltowa. Czyli teraz idziemy do miejsca, gdzie będzie pite porridge, tak? Hello! Good guys, good.
And now you can see the big spark is next to it. This is the original community. My first.
This one, your name say?
also Oscar, you see?
Tak, ten chłopiec też nazywa się
On
Oscar.
my
Hello Oscar.
Oscar.
I'm Oscar too. High five.
High five.
Takie kolczyki to znak rozpoznawalny Karamajong.
We're going to try the question.
Very nice.
What's your name?
Co tutaj będziemy robić?
Nie mam pojęcia. Chyba próbować tych alkoholi ikniejszych. Już się boję.
What we gonna do here?
We're going to try the question.
Wait there, okay. Yeah. Czuć tak, jak jest sfermentowane drożdże, tak to czuć. Ale nie wiem, czy chcę to pić. Patty chyba też nie. Dominik mówi, że niby jest to safe to drink, ale jakoś nie jestem przekonany. Pastor, how strong is that alcohol?
This alcohol will take 3 days.
3 days, but how strong? How many voltage?
I would say it's about 6%.
6%. Yeah, like a strong beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's not. Sometimes I've had it. Sometimes I've had Quetti. It's like it feels like 4, and then I've had some. It feels like 8.
Yeah.
So,
And you drink it, Pastor, also?
No, I used to take when I was still
okay.
when I was still in Karamajong. But when I came here, I had to change my life.
All right.
In Karamajong, if this one is not there, you cannot survive. So this is the only food in Karamajong.
Okay.
yeah. So like I was telling you, when I went up there, the second day I was there was no food. I had to have this for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
You drink it all the time?
Even one man, I was sitting with one man, he sat and drank 5 litres. I said, no, you can drink 5 litres. I drank 1 litre and I was full.
Yeah. Feel full in the stomach and in the head.
And then I had to have the same with lunch and the same at supper because there was no food.
Oh God, crazy. Ja tego nie piję. Bagienko. No fucking way.
Ja może spróbuję tyle. Żeby im nie było przykro.
Nie mam na tyle dużych jaj.
No, a poza tym ty też masz czasami problemy z żołądkiem, nie?
No właśnie.
Ja mam żołądek twardy jak stal, także może zaryzykuję, chociaż boję
Patty
się.
będzie eksperymentować.
Boję się.
Będzie naszym testerem przedziwnych rzeczy w Ugandzie. Tell me, do you like it?
Like this. Without this,
Like it? Good? Teraz tutaj kobieta leje dla nas właśnie lokalny alkohol. Dominik zamówił 10 litrów. Rytualne próbowanie. Oczywiście z jednego wiadra wszyscy tutaj łoją. Musisz się?
Nie wiem, cały czas ze sobą, I'm struggling with myself, walczę ze sobą. Nie wiem. Nie smakowało tak źle, ale trochę się boję ze względu na kwestie higieniczne pić tutaj więcej tego i z jednej bazy z nimi, dlatego swój kubeczek.
Będziesz żyć.
Wiem.
Ja wycykałem. Może się jeszcze skuszę w innym miejscu na wiosnę. Szaleństwo. I tak oni spędzają całe dnie właśnie. To ich utrzymuje przy życiu, że siedzą, mogą się socjalizować przy jednym wiadrze i umielają sobie w ten sposób dzień. Nie myślą tak dużo o przeżyciu, nie myślą tak dużo o stresie, z którym się spotykają cały dzień. A smakowo do czego byś to porównała?
Smakowo do czego trudno mi to porównać do czegokolwiek smakowo. Nie było nic wcześniej, co by smakowało podobnie. A jeśli chodzi o konsystencję, to nie był to taki czysty płyn, tylko miał w sobie takie grudki. One były takie dość miękkie, ale no tak jakby mąka posklejana,
Dominik bierze troszkę tego napoju do swojego slumsu, w którym mieszka. Podzielić się ze swoją społecznością. O kurde, Patrycja następny.
Jeszcze jeden. Zdrówko. Wszystkich ludzi to obecnych.
Thank you.
Next time better. Next time better.
Yeah.
Next time better.
Yeah, thank you. Ale tam było tłoczne. Nie wiem co powiedzieć nawet. You have a lot of drink. Yeah, a lot of to drink. Okay. Okay, syliczan napój, który fermentuje. Widzicie teraz bąbelki, jak tutaj pracują, jak to wszystko się jeszcze tworzy. Jak się czujesz? Wjechała jakaś bania, czy nie?
Nie, bania żadna nie wjechała, bo ja dosyć mało tego piłam. Tak ostrożnie sobie dawkowałam. Ale ogólnie, co mogę powiedzieć o samym miejscu? To, że jest z jednej strony przykro patrzeć na to, w jakich żyją w bardzo kiepskich warunkach, ale z drugiej strony też widać u nich to, że żyją bardzo zżyci w swojej społeczności sami ze sobą. No to jest charakterystyczne też dla takich miejsc. Why Uganda?
I found a big connection with Uganda. Although I do some projects in Kenya, I found when I came here I just had a big connection with the culture, and I've been all over Uganda, and I would say a lot of the cultures that they appeal to me in some way, the community feel. I think that's one of the things we miss in the West, is we've lost that community feel, and I think when I'm here I feel a part of the community, and you see that the community comes together. Where in the West, that's largely forgotten, and people are, hide in their houses, or don't talk to strangers or whatever. And here, everyone's welcome, and even if they're poor, they will try and offer you something, whether it is a dance or a little bit of food or even a cup of water. They'll always try and offer you something. And one thing I've noticed here is, if you turn up with like a piece of food and there's 4 people, they will cut it into 4. Even if that bit of food is small, they will still share it to everybody. Everyone will get a piece, regardless how small it will be. And that is one thing I think that is missing in the West, because we would quite happily sit in the West and eat a burger and not even think about the starving man on the street who's outside. We would just continue to eat. We're here, we cannot let people suffer. Everyone shares and everyone looks after each other. That's why I stay in the slum also, because you see the community spirit is stronger in the slum than you do anywhere else in the city. In apartment blocks, it's like the West. There's no community there. You might know your neighbour, but you don't know anyone else. And I think that's what I like about here. And they all come together to help people. Like if someone's sick, then you'll get some people that come together and they'll fundraise a little bit of money and they'll help that sick person. In the West, we don't care. and that's why I like here. And I would like eventually to try and live here in Uganda, if possible.
Nawet mają chłopaki tutaj salon gier. Coś w stylu jednorękiego bandyty.
These are playing games.
Yeah. And they can win money on this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They win money.
Okay.
These are things we do. And for you also in your country, you are using.
Yeah, we know. But different, you know, more modern than this.
One of the issues we face as a charity is when we bring products in for charity, we get charged by for tax, import tax, even up as much as 51%.
Really?
But a gambling machine is exempt from tax. Take what you want from that. So you can import this machine.
So where are we heading now?
Just back to Moses' house, where we went when we came in.
Okay, all right, okay.
Where we stopped in.
All right,
yeah,
I see.
I said, let's go back.
Did you find Mama Masjid?
No, there was recognized. Mary was outside the church.
About
Co za miejsce.
1 billion and 800 million.
To przytłaczające jest tutaj. Żyją w strasznych warunkach. Te domki, które widzieliście, 20 osób w jednym pomieszczeniu, więc żyją tak naprawdę jeden na drugim. Ciężko mi sobie wyobrazić, jak musi wyglądać życie w takich warunkach.
Wystarczy spojrzeć na to, no wiedzieliśmy mniej więcej czego się spodziewać.
Ale wiesz, my to dalej obserwujemy z roli obserwatora, a tak naprawdę, żeby się wczuć w to, jak oni tutaj funkcjonują na co dzień, no to jest bardzo trudne tak naprawdę dla kogoś, kto nigdy w życiu nie miał...
No nie da się wczuć, no ja nawet nie wiem jak to skomentować. Ciężko tu nawet się, postawić ich w sytuacji, bo nigdy czegoś takiego nie zaznaliśmy, nie? I nigdy raczej nie zaznamy. To jest tak, że ci ludzie właśnie przychodzą tutaj, żyją tutaj, większość z nich tutaj umiera, nie? I oni nigdy się nie wyrywają z tego miejsca. Nikt ich nie zatrudnia, nikt ich nie chce zatrudnić, bo przyklejona jest do nich łatka ludzi ze slumsów i po prostu są tutaj skazani na nędzę i śmierć do końca, nie?
Teraz robię dalszą część degustacji alkoholi. Teraz lecimy z piwkami, które przyniósł nam Dominik. So this one is
Tonto Cherenga. Sorghum and banana.
Okay. It's not beer. It's strong.
But it is a special.
Yeah, it's old one, like
Yeah.
have like 30
this one
years.
tastes better a little bit. It's sweeter.
8,5%
20 cents a bottle.
20 centów za buteleczkę.
Nice. Tastes good.
Tastes like cider a little bit.
Yeah.
Smakuje jak cydr.
Who wants this one?
Yeah, like cider. So right now we go with the Romy beer.
This is Rummy's pineapple. It's made from pineapple
Okay.
and ginger
Yeah.
and sorghum.
Yeah. When it's with pineapple, I'm excited because I like pineapple. So
But it's not.
it's not tasting the pineapple. Okay, it's
It's
just made.
ginger, sorghum, and pineapple.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. It's heavy. Yeah, we leave it.
Yes, this one is good.
Same again.
Czyli piwko Romy zrobione z ananasa. Okej, ananasowy sok, woda. Ginger. I always have a problem to. I know what it is, but I have a problem to translate it.
In Uganda, it's called tangawizi.
Tangawizi. I know the beverage tangawizi. Do you have it here? I really like it. When I was in Tanzania, I used to.
Yeah, have it here also.
Yeah. Okay. I need to find tangawizi today. No i to piwko smakuje naprawdę bardzo dobrze. Jest orzeźwiające.
A little bit alcoholic.
Yeah, 8%.
W tym cieple to kurczę wszystko 10 razy mocniej działo. Teraz ja po tych już 2-3 łykach już czuję.
Banieczkę. And this one, it looks...
This one is
Waraji.
This one's waraji, homemade with banana or matoke.
So this is the strongest.
This is one that a lot of people drink. They have a lot of. The percentage can be anything from 25 to 40, and it's totally homemade.
Okay.
I to jest ten bimber, który
It's not,
tutaj wszędzie
it's
się...
not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah. Dobra, kochani. Pierwsza
For these
waraji.
young girls.
Made from bananas.
Dominic. It's a Dominic.
Like a vodka.
Yeah.
Brother Dominic.
Waraji to taki
For these
lokalny
young
bimber,
girls.
który pędzi się tutaj wszędzie na wsiach. ten akurat zrobiony z bananów, ale robi się też z ziemniaka tutejszego. Nie pamiętam teraz nazwy. Ale można to dostać również w sklepy komercyjnie, zabutelkowane, za ładnie zabrändowane, ale oczywiście dużo drożej. A takie łaradzie robi się tutaj lokalnie na wioskach, w slumsach. Także próbujemy. Like vodka.
Yeah, I like vodka. It's very similar actually.
The cassava one, I find, leaves a drier taste in your mouth. So that is, and this one's 20 cents also.
Yeah. 20 cents za taką buteleczkę.
Nieźle. Ja sobie jeszcze tu dupnę tego romisa. Romis jest naprawdę zajebisty.
To tylko tak, żebyś tu nie została z nimi na imprezce.
Spokojnie.
Grubo łoisz.
Albo grubo, albo wcale. Jak już zaczęłam od lokalnego alkoholu, który smakował jak mąka. Tak, on smakował jak mąka.
Jak mąka z alkoholu. A była tam czuć alkohol?
Było mocno. I tak się kończy nasza wizyta w slumsie Karamajong. Jesteśmy z jednej strony trochę przytłoczeni tym, co zobaczyliśmy, biedę, w jakiej ludzie tutaj muszą żyć. Jeszcze warto zauważyć, że to jest jeden z najbiedniejszych slumsów tutaj w Kampali. A wynika to z tego, że są zamieszkiwani właśnie przez to plemię Karamajong, a jest to jedno z najbardziej marginalizowanych plemion w całej Ugandzie, więc tak samo wyglądają i slumsy, są po prostu jedne z najgorszych. A z drugiej strony jesteśmy bardzo wdzięczni, że udało się nam zorganizować to w taki sposób bezpieczny, że mogliśmy spędzić naprawdę parę godzin z tą społecznością i im dalej się zagłębialiśmy, tym bardziej czuliśmy, że nie jesteśmy tam intruzami, tylko oni też mają jakąś radość z tego, że pojawiliśmy się tam, że pojawili się tam ludzie z zewnątrz, którzy chcą po prostu zobaczyć, jak oni żyją. And you want to get old in Uganda or in any African country, or you have a plan or idea to go back home?
For me, I'd like one day to have a family here and live here till my old age. I mean, Scotland is still my home and it will always be a home, but for me, I'm happy here. And that is where I'll eventually love to stay here. And I feel like a big part of me belongs here. And although I feel at home sometimes in Scotland, for me sometimes after some months being in Scotland, sometimes I'm missing Uganda too much. So yeah, for me, I think Uganda is possibly going to be the country I'll spend the rest of my life in.
Dominik poruszył nas swoją historią i nieoczywistym podejściem do życia. To właśnie dzięki niemu mieliśmy możliwość zrealizować ten odcinek. Mamy nadzieję spotkać się znów w przyszłości na Czarnym Lądzie. Wielkie podziękowania dla Ciebie, Dominik. A z Wami, drodzy widzowie, widzimy się w kolejnym odcinku.